In the past month, the battle for the Ukrainian-held city of Bakhmut has become a focal point of Russia's nearly year-long war against its democratic neighbor. Unlike in previous engagements, however, a disproportionate share of the fighting and deaths on the Russian side were none other than Wagner's group. From February 24, 2022 to February 11, 2023, the Ukrainian Defense Forces eliminated an estimated 136,880 Russian troops and 1,140 people in the last day alone. As reported by Ukrinform, the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine announced this on Facebook. Meanwhile, on the northern outskirts of the town of Bakhmut in the Donbass, Wagner Group troops had moved 2 to 3 km further west, controlling the countryside near the main M03 route to the town. To the south, Russian units have advanced around the western edge of the town of Vuhledar, where they will relaunch offensive operations in late January 2023. Russian forces may have suffered heavy casualties near Vuhledar, where inexperienced units were involved. The Wagner Group had taken an increasingly visible role in the war in Ukraine as the Russian regular forces were heavily reduced. Ukraine says that the Russian offensive on Bakhmut has not reached its peak and the situation along the front is becoming difficult. Bakhmut, which is still in Ukrainian hands, is about 30 miles south of Crimea. The city appears to be a major propaganda target for Russian President Vladimir Putin. Russian troops may have lost dozens of armored vehicles during the botched assault on the eastern Ukrainian city of Vuhledar, British intelligence said Friday. Vuhledar, a Ukrainian-controlled stronghold at a strategic crossroads between the eastern and southern fronts, has seen some of the bloodiest fighting of the war as Russia continues its relentless assault on the eastern front. Russia's defense ministry has not yet commented on the report, but said military operations near Vuhledar and the eastern Ukrainian town of Bakhmut that the Russians are trying to besiege are going well. His troops have made clear, if gradual, advances in the area in the past month, most notably taking the salt mining town of Soledar to the north of Bakhmut. A military blogger said on Thursday that 31 tanks had been destroyed by Ukrainian drones after they were dispatched without artillery cover, reposting an image from a Ukrainian Telegram channel sharing photos from the battle zone. Grey Zone, the semi-official Telegram channel of mercenary group Wagner, said in a post that disasters are brewing around Vuhledar, and they are happening again and again. On the eve of the anniversary of Russia's invasion on February 24, Kyiv said Moscow had sacrificed wave after wave of troops and mercenaries in futile attacks to gain territorial advantages in the region. Vuhledar has emerged as a key point in the fight for control of the Donetsk province and the wider Donbass region. Currently, Russian troops control the outskirts of the city while Ukrainian forces control the city center. Vuhledar is one of the few high ground in the area, and taking it would help Russia disrupt Ukraine's supply lines. Meanwhile, if Ukraine could secure the city, it could act as a base for future counterattacks into southern Ukraine. Ten days into February 2023, Ukrainian and Western military sources report that an accelerated Russian full-scale offensive in Ukraine has begun. The barrage of Russian missiles fired early Friday at infrastructure targets in the cities of Zaporizhzhia and Kharkiv is a clear sign of escalation. But there is a caveat that the actual launch is yet to come. In the Russian border region of Belgorod, Moscow can currently count on a group of 17 battalions. The Kursk and Bryansk regions are similar in strength in size and composition. This allows them to launch attacks in the Sumy or Kharkiv regions with the further prospect of marching on the capital Kyiv or repeating attacks on Ukraine's second-largest city, Kharkiv, in the northeast. The presence of Russian troops requires the command of the armed forces of Ukraine to maintain response forces in the border area. But this appears to be a ruse, as a broad attack on major cities or a larger-scale march through the Sumy and Poltava regions towards the Dnipro River would require proper preparations along the border, which currently do not exist. There will not be another Day X that we saw at the start of the war. This offensive was launched in stages. The Russian military command has tried to draw conclusions from the loss of personnel in the concentration area and to protect the replenished personnel reserves as much as possible. In the eastern region, logistics hubs have been established, stockpiling military equipment and waiting for the next wave of mobilization. This may be a lesson for both sides, as Putin learned last February. Neither victory nor defeat comes quickly.